in the second, in the first section, we get to this exam, they give us choices to attend which section first.
Yes. You have to attempt them as they come. Yeah, you can, in the section itself, you can attempt any passage first, but as section wise, you have to first attempt the reading, then they'll tell you, or first come the poems. Reading from.
It was EBR.
Yeah, so the EBR comes first, WL, and then the poems. Both the poems. So after you finish the reading, the time that 52 minutes gets over, you don't get any more time for the reading session. You have to move on to WL. So you're taking the it's still the pen paper test, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Where's your center?
Ma'am, it's in
Villepal. What time?
It's ma'am, they have given the time 7:45.
Morning.
Yes.
Oh. We have to reach at least an hour before.
No, like the test they told they start at 8:30 or something.
Okay, 7:45 is reporting time.
I didn't say that he was the doors.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
So did you take the walk?
Yeah.
How did it go?
I did say. I did like 1 hour before.
I said today itself.
No, I did like an hour before.
So how do you feel about it?
That's good.
That's good. Any confusions?
Except for the fourth and semicolon. That's not good.
Further than semicolon. So, like, was it to remove it or to change? You didn't analyze the plurals. So now you're doing this. Okay, so by the time other people come in, I think we can. Okay, out of the homework that was there, were you able to do anything? I think I told you to do session 16 we had done the last it was Sarah, can you please have your video on? Otherwise, we can't see you.
Ma'am, just a second. I'm trying to join in properly. It keeps showing me an error.
Oh. Otherwise, I can't come to know who's there. Good evening, Kshitish. Kshitish, please have your video on. Yeah, so any doubts from the exercises that you've done? Hmm? Were you able to maintain time? Hmm? Yeah. So how much time did you take to complete the 3 passages put together? For the practice, I think session 17 I told you to do, right? Have you done it? No? Haven't practiced? Okay, so you will be doing session 17. Yeah? You still mark for homework. Homework from 19. Okay, so what we'll do is, remember the session 10 we have left out? Yes, please. Good. Okay. There was a test. Okay, so we have this session 10. We'll try to do session 10. Kshitij, please have your video on so that you are, at least I know your presence. Okay, now we have this session 10. We have the passages similar to the ones you get in your text. And there's a total of 44 questions. We won't do all of them together. We'll do 2 passages at a time, right? So that will give you practice for your test also. And we can discuss the questions. So passage number 1 and passage number 2. And I give you 15 minutes because you are not entering your answers into the OMR sheet, just marking in your books, right? So passage 1 and passage 2 of session 10, you all will be attempting and you get 15 minutes. So you can begin now.
Mom, could you repeat which session?
Session number 10, it's on the screen. Session number 10, the one we have left out earlier. Passage 1 and passage 2, you have to do in 15 minutes. Anyone done with the question? No? Just 1 minute to go. Okay, so consider finished for now. Hmm? How many questions left? Left. Done? Yes, Sarah, done? Sarvat?
Yes, ma'am.
Kshitij?
Yes,
Done?
yes,
Okay. So do you think you got all of them right? Any confusion somewhere? Yeah? Okay, let's see. Wow. Okay, I will just you give me the answer, whatever you got. Question number 1, that was not bad. Number 1, D. Everyone D? Yeah? Okay, yes, D is correct. So here it was about the phase in how we get. In how we get would be the sentence if you read in this area of blogging, news, website, and personalized Twitter page. Most of us believe that we have more choice than ever in how we get news, that becomes a little redundant. Yeah, of getting news. Okay, number 2. C, savvy. Yeah, the same way you use tech savvy, that comes in. Number 3. B. D. B. Yeah. Yes, Sarah. Number 3, what's your answer?
Mom, B.
B. Everyone's got B, Sarah?
Yes.
Because we have removed the redundancy and made it concise and clear. Okay. Okay. Number 4. C. C. Yes. Why did you take its? What does it refer to? One corporation. Yeah. Well, it's referring to one corporation periods. Number 5. B. B. Yes, it's B. But if you look at the previous sentence, yes, server.
C.
C. Others would argue. If you look at the previous sentence, some argue that. Right? So when you talk about parallelism, this is a example of parallelism between sentences. So the previous sentence begins with some argue that a corporation's freedom to acquire, etc. Instead of the other argument, it would be others argue that. Right? So we would go with others would argue. It's just others argue. Okay, number 6. No change. Yeah, because if you look at the pie chart, the media ownership of the minorities adds up to 3.2. And anyway, the statements given are not correct. Okay, number 7. C. No. Sarah, number 7.
Mama, I went with C, against.
You went with C, okay. Sarah,
C, against.
C, against. Kshitish, have you done it? Yes, Kshitish, your video is not on, so I don't know if you're there.
No, ma'am, there are.
Okay, so what's your answer?
Possible.
Pardon? Kshitish, I can't hear you.
I have also gone with C.
You got with first C. Okay. Now, for those who didn't get C, now, yes, C against is the answer. Now, if you read the sentence, what is it talking about? One potent antidote dash media consolidation is the internet. When you talk about antidote, what is an antidote? Something that works against a virus or something. So here also it will be working against. Antidote against. Right? Okay, number 8. Change. No change. C. C.
Number 8, why can't it be C?
Okay, yeah, that's what we will discuss. Yes, it is C. Now it says, with some research, it reveals many resources of curious and intelligent media consumer to hear informed voices. Now, would you say with some research, it reveals? What reveals? What is the it referring to? Is it clear what the it is referring to? Or should we remove the it? We should remove the it, right? So you will come to now, B is it will reveal, that will not be an answer. Some research will reveal, that gives clarity to it. Okay. Now question number 9. A. So it says with a representation of modern media that contrasts with the ideal civilized debate, and this would be added to this. Yeah. So beginning of the sentence would be with representation of modern. Because what is the debate about? The debate is about the modern media and what other things that it is not really doing. Yeah. So this will be added and A is your answer. Okay, number 10. B.
D.
Yes, Sagar.
D.
B. Sarah.
Ma'am, B.
B. Okay. Sarah, you didn't get it? You got B. A or B. Okay, let's see. Now, what is this sentence talking about? It is a carrying over from the previous paragraph, right? So it's the previous paragraph. Last sentence says sites like Publica, Fastech, provide in-depth, non-profit, public-supported journalism and is best influenced by any corporate or political agenda, right? And this one says. Therefore, sensationalism sells and the media conglomerate have mastered the art. So is it because these are doing this work for non-profit? When you talk about sensationalism sells, it is actually in contrast to non-profit. Yeah, yes. So we will not go with therefore. We want a contrast. So we'll go with still. Correct? Okay. Number 11. Yes, it is D. But did you get the logic? Why did you take D? Just a guess. Okay. Anyone got the answer for number 11? Sarah? Sarah, did you get number 11? Sarah?
It was a guess. I did not get it.
Yes. Okay. Now the sentence here is, without large advertising and lobbying budgets, these non-partisan dash of journalism will have a difficult time competing with the big boys. Now, of course, instances will not be an answer. Yeah. Patterns also you have deleted. Yeah. Receptacles and repositories remain. Receptacles would be, what would receptacles mean? An object, it could not only object, even a person who is receiving something. Or say a knowledge which has been given and somebody is receiving, that also could be received. Now repositories means storehouse of information or knowledge. So when you are talking about the media conglomerates, they are what is referred to as the repositories of journalism. Yeah, so they are the storehouses of that. Anyway, if you keep deleting, the guess would be correct. Okay, now passage 2, question number 12. D? Everyone D? Sure, Sarah?
Ma'am, why can't it be B? Like, even though D seems correct, but B also seems
B
correct.
also seems correct, okay? Let's see why. Now here we are talking about, most of us realize that these rituals, now between B and D, if you see. Now, the given is which are based on ancient and discredited beliefs. Now, most of these, us realize that these rituals are based on ancient and discredited beliefs, or rituals that are based on, now that are based on and which are based on, and you have a comma before that. Will it be correct? No. So that's why we would delete B. And to make it concise, we will go with rituals are based on. Yeah. Now, if you read the sentence also, most of us realize that these rituals, which are based on ancient and discredited beliefs, but we can't so easily read out. Does it make sense? Grammatically incorrect. So we will remove which. Okay, number 13. A, no change. B. Where would you go with B? It says every culture has its own superstitious beliefs. For now, anthropologists and psychologists are beginning to understand why. Does it make sense? For would be like because. What is the relationship? Yeah, we won't use for. We would use and. So there will be no change. Okay, number 14. Contradict. Yeah, we won't say when something strange happens that we can't explain or seems to, we would say collide against. It would be contradict. A thought process would always contradict. So 14B is the answer. Okay, 15. See? Yeah, we don't need the sense. If we read the previous sentence also, we reflexively fill this gap in knowledge. We are willful beings surrounded by other willful beings and every conscious moment. So 15 is C. 16. B or C. C is little rhythm, which is what intentional action is. Too long. Now in this case we have a colon. Yeah. And the given sentence has comma that is. So A will not be. Now instead of that is, what else can we use? Now B also we will not use. That is intentional action. That is comma intentional action. Now what is the sentence saying? We are willful, surrounded by other willful beings, and every conscious moment of our lives is filled with a sense of agency. That is intentional action. So it means to say that this is what we are talking about, and this is what it is. So we could use a dash, but we don't have the option of a dash. So we will go with colon, but we will not use that is, we will use which is. Yeah. So anyway, we can't use A, we can't use C, B doesn't seem correct, we are left with A. So even if you are confused, just eliminate. You don't have to choose an answer, you have to go with elimination. Best option, best thing to do is go with elimination. Now number 17. D. Why did you go with D?
It's a sentence, but it doesn't repeat the time.
Yeah. So if you see this sentence, A can design buildings, compose music, and can formulate scientific theories. Now, it is a list of things. So we go with parallelism. So we remove the can here. Can design buildings, compose music, formulate scientific theories. Yeah. So D is your answer. Okay, question number 18. D. B.
D.
B or D? Then do it. Confused between B and D. Okay. Yes, server.
Last option.
D. Okay. Sarah.
Ma'am, D.
D. Okay, now what is the sentence? The author is considering adding the following sentence in the paragraph. Where should he add it? It says others are sad and regret, such as the belief in shapelessly. Now, what does this others refer to? The sentence before it should give us what others is. Yeah. So now, because sentence 2 doesn't make any sense, our brains are creative. Others therefore are sad. No. Because sentence 3, does it fit in? They can design buildings. Others is but this creativity is sometimes now. This is talking. B is talking about but this creativity. This creativity refers to what we are talking about in the second sentence. So this can't interfere in the middle. Now, if we say before sentence 4 says many of these, like blessing people. Now, what is these? These refer to the superstitions. So we can't place it before 4. Okay? Now, the only option left is before D, before 5, sorry. Now, others here will refer to many of these like blessings. Yeah. So you have got the link between others and many of these. So your D is the correct answer. Okay, number 19. Not sure? C. Okay. B. B. D. They would. Okay. Sarah, number 19. B.
Ma'am, I went with C.
Went with C. Okay. Sarah,
Also C.
C. Okay, let's see what is this they or it talking about. It says although superstitious explanations relieve our cognitive dissonance. So what are we talking about? We're talking about superstitious explanations. Superstitious explanations is plural. It might also lead to tragedy. What might lead to tragedy is superstitious explanations. So we will go with a plural. So it will be they. Now between they can and they would. Now it says, although superstitious explanations relieve our cognitive dissonance. Now is it pointing to a hypothetical situation? Not really, right? So we won't go with might, of course, and we won't go with would. Would be a hypothetical situation. Yeah, we'll go with can. So they can. Got it? Any more doubt on this? No. Okay, now question number 20. This is confusing. B, okay. B.
B.
They do it. B. Okay. Yes, Sarah.
Ma'am, B.
B. Server.
D. Second option.
B. Okay. So now it says some superstitious parents have even beaten or disowned their own children because their strange behavior is attributed to demonic possession. So the given sentence doesn't bring out clarity. The even distance. Why even distance? Right. Some superstitions have even beaten their and or disowned their children because their strange behaviors attributed to them. Now, who is this they referring to? The children, the parents. Now, their strange behavior is attributed to demonic possession. So we want some option which brings in better clarity. Yeah. Now, if you look at B, some superstitious parents believing that any strange behavior is a sign of demonic possession have even beaten or disowned their own children. That can work. Now, the superstitious parents believe this, that's why they have beaten their children. Okay. Now, C, even beating or disowning their children, many that is big, that makes it even more clear. And D says some superstitious parents believing that their strange behavior, whose strange behavior, parents or children's, again there is lack of clarity. So we'll go to D. Right? Okay, number 21. D. Ishan?
Last option.
D. D. Yes, Sawas?
Last option.
Okay. Sarah?
Ma'am, D as well.
D. Yes, it is D, satisfied, because if you look at they substitute a craving that doesn't make sense. Yeah. Discharge and exempt also don't make sense. And besides, we were talking about the previous sentence. Rituals in your favorite football team, like dancing, wearing a hat. So something that satisfies craving will do. Okay, number 22. It is a sentence which will concluding sentence would be most in keeping with the content and tone of the passage as a whole. So if you look at the content and a concluding sentence, it should go with what the thought process of the paragraph is, right? And something which also is not completely different from the entire passage. So what would the answer be? What did you eliminate? You eliminated B and B, okay? I'm A also will C. Okay. Ishan?
I think it's C or A.
C or A. Okay. So everyone is confused? Sarah, are you also confused or you got the answer?
Ma'am, I went with A. It feels more as a concluding sentence.
Sarah?
I was confused.
First one. Okay. Now, if you look at the entire passage, what was it talking about more or less? What idea did you get? And what we believe? How do the rituals influence us? Something of that sort. And if you look at the last paragraph, rituals intended to help your favorite football team score, like dancing or wearing a hat backward, are fun and innocuous. They satisfy a craving in our brains for control over situation that otherwise mystify us. Right? This is the last paragraph that we have. So something should be added to it, which will conclude not only the entire passage, but also the paragraph. Right? Now, B and D we have eliminated because they talk about humanity's greatest accomplishment, nothing to do with this. And without such rituals, we would not feel as connected to the people. Now, does that make sense? No. Now, coming to A and C. A says, however, feeling like we have control over the situation is not always the same as understanding it. Right? Now, this particular sentence does connect to the paragraph. Yeah. And if you're talking about the entire passage, we do certain things without understanding it. Yeah, rituals are done because we are told it is done without any logic sometimes. Yeah. And C says, centuries from now, our rituals have become so elaborate that we would scarcely recognize them as such today. So is the passage talking about the rituals becoming elaborate or something that we can't connect with? Right? So A is a better answer than C. Alright? And if you look at A, this would be a better conclusion even to the paragraph. The thought process of the paragraph is continued into this sentence. Right? Okay, so I think more or less you got most of them correct, apart from two conclusions. Now your conclusions are clear. So go back to the questions and just see which ones you got wrong. And first see which ones you got wrong and then analyze why you got this wrong. Is there a pattern in the questions that you got wrong? No? So what is the first question you got wrong?
7. Of course.
First one. So why did you get it wrong?
Earlier I chose B, but when I read it again, I could.
Okay, so that is the first time you didn't read it properly.
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't. So whenever you have these questions, any option that you choose, put it back into the sentence, read the sentence again. If it seems correct, go with it. Now here it is not clear grammar, it is like more of usage of the phrase. Yeah, it's more idiomatic expression than just pure grammar. Okay, what else did you get wrong?
19.
Huh?
19.
Pardon?
19.
19. Okay. So what was 19 about? It was okay, there also. So why did you miss out on that?
I considered the superstitious explanation as simple.
Okay. So it is superstitious explanations. It is clearly plural. So you missed out on something which you shouldn't have got. Yeah? Any other? So mostly you, the ones you got wrong, those silly mistakes, which can be avoided. Right? Okay. Charu? So between which ones did you get wrong? Seventh one. Okay. So seventh one. Okay. So here you. So you have to look at the context. That's important. Okay. Next. 8th and 9th. Okay. 8th and 9th also was related to the context and the way the sentence is formed. Yeah. And the 9th one is absolutely about the context, of course, whether it should fit in or not. Yeah. Any other? Okay, so more or less, your was about reading the context here. Yeah, so you have to work on that. Okay, Varshini? Which one? Are you feeling bored? Yes? 18. What was 18? Okay, 18 was the sentence page. So that was a little analytical. Yeah, you have to work on analytical a little more. Any other? Okay, 16. So what went? Which one did you choose in 16? We chose B. That is. Yeah, it could be, but we have a comma before that. So whether it is inside or not, it is still there. Because whenever you, in a sentence, if you have quotes, you put the punctuation inside it. Yeah, but the punctuation is still a punctuation. Yeah, so it is comma that still comes. So any other? That's it. Okay, so Sarah, did you analyze the questions you got wrong?
Yeah, ma'am.
Which ones?
Ma'am, the 12th one, I had a doubt in that, and 17.
12th one. Okay, so the 12th one, yeah, it was a question of redundancy, if we have to. And
Ma'am, and then 17. I thought it should have been C, but it turned out to be D.
yeah, so there you missed out on the parallel structure of the sentence. All others are correct?
Yeah.
Sarwar?
Yes, I got the second one, fifth one, ninth one wrong.
Second one was choosing the correct word. Fifth one was, okay, that was plural. So you could connect the pronoun to the subject,
Yes.
right? Okay, so you have to be a little more careful in your reading. Read the sentence twice. Whenever you have this type of question, read the sentence twice and figure out what is the pronoun referring to. Right? Okay, number 5 you got correct or was it wrong?
Wrong, fifth one.
Okay. So here again it was you have to go back to the previous sentence. What is the other argument referring to? Yeah. So that is a question of parallel structure in sentences. Any other?
Ninth, 16th.
Okay, number 9 was analytical. Yeah, the context and why this should be there or not. So you have to work on that, those type of questions a little bit. And number 16?
Yes.
Okay, 16 was the punctuation and that. So I think you all a little bit confused on that. Okay, any other?
Last one.
Last one. So last one, why did you get it wrong?
I got confused.
You chose C.
Yes. Actually.
So C is a little too wide and doesn't really go with the last paragraph. So we will not go with C. It should go something that goes when they say there's something that concludes a passage should also be able to conclude the given paragraph. Or set up the
Okay.
it should be in context of the paragraph. Who else is there? Kshitij? Are you there? Yes, Kshitij? Can you hear me? So I think speed is not a problem anymore. You can manage doing the questions within the given amount of time. Yeah, little more. Like I think 2 minutes you do require to transfer it into your OMR sheet. So more or less if you can figure it out. This time we got 15 minutes for 2 passages. You should be able to do it in 14 minutes. Right? So if you do it in 14 minutes, then overall you get a little more time. So more or less a little less than 7 minutes per question would be ideal. 6.5 minutes. You can get to that speed. Yeah. You want to finish this exercise? So we have 2 more passages here. You can finish the stop, then you will take a little break, or you want to break before we move on. So you can go on with passages. Passage three. So passage 3 and passage 4 are closed. So did I set it at 14 minutes?
Ma'am, the third passage, right?
Yeah, third and fourth. Both of
Okay.
them.
Ma'am, are we doing the fourth one also now?
Yes, Saurav?
Ma'am, are we doing the fourth one also now?
Yes, fourth one also.
Okay.
Third and fourth. How many left? Done? All done? Sarah done?
Ma'am, one question left.
Sarah,
2 questions left.
complete?
No, I'm still doing.
I can't hear what you said.
Still I'm left with 2 questions.
Two questions. Okay, not bad. We can just finish up before we go back to the offices. Was there confusion in this? Last question. Last question. There was a little bit of- Okay, done? Yeah. So, do you want to discuss or do you want to take a break and then discuss? You want to continue? Okay. So, everyone here wants to continue, do you mind? Yeah? Okay. Nice one. Okay, now we come to passage 3, question 23. So, question 23, answer B. Sure. Yes, our question 23.
Second option.
Second option. Sarah, do you think the same? Okay. Yes, why did you choose B? Anyone with an explanation? Ishan? Okay. And other than that, why would you go with B? It removes redundancy, brings in clarity. Yeah? Okay. Now 24. E. Yeah. So you also correct. So many of these skeptics couch their arguments. So it's not they are coming from us. Okay, 25. C. Yeah. So that becomes concise and clear. Okay, number 26. A, no change. So rather it is a process that is correct. Short, simple. Number 27. B. B. Sarah? 27.
Ma'am, B.
B. Sarah, also you have B?
Yes.
Yeah. So why did you go with B this time? So if you read the sentence, what does it say? If you read the sentence, rather it is a process of identifying significant natural phenomena, gathering evidence about those phenomena, and so it will be in a parallel structure. So identifying, gathering, then it goes on to finding the most reliable explanation. Yeah. Was your logic correct? Huh? Concession, okay, fine. This is also about parallel structure. Yeah. Now, number 28. D. So we don't need this perhaps. You also now here one thing if you notice, they've used that, but there's a comma before that. Now this is an exception. Why? What is the purpose of using that? It's not about this, it's not talking about a particular thing which is important, but it is talking about just a fact that this happened, that happened. So in this case, you can have a that before the comma, right? It's talking about an explanation, not about emphasizing a particular thing. Okay. So in this case, yes, D is the answer. Yeah. And that. 29. A. A, no change. Yeah. Sarah, 29,
Ma'am, no change.
no change. Savar,
I went with C.
you went with C. Okay, so in this case, what was I talking about? In the context of the passage as a whole, which of the following completes the sentence most appropriately? So in the context of the entire sentence, or if you look at the passage also, earlier it was talking about what? It was talking about gathering evidence, then it went on to a problem of warming or climate. It's talking about climate change and what we need to do, right? There's still plenty of uncertainty about the complex system that make up a planetary climate, but we know enough to be concerned and to discuss the issue without politicizing it. Now, here C says, but not enough to risk sacrificing our political and economic security. So is political and economic security coming in any way? We can't really figure that out. Yeah, it's not.
The passage talks about it costing the American taxpayer.
Yeah, but the economic security is not coming in, right? We have partisan convictions, then we have American taxpayers and laws, but we are not talking. So we don't really have clarity whether it is actually political and economic security. Yeah, so we leave that out. We will keep it as is. So anything that is not very clear, we don't take it. The number 30. Huh? B. B. Everyone thinks it's B. Yeah. This is B. Won't make that true because when you say the previous sentence talks about consensus that everyone thinks like this. So when everyone thinks it won't be isn't the same as it being true, but when everyone says it is true, it doesn't make it. That's what it is. Okay, 31. No change. Yes, A is correct because but instead from those are not related, but by them and service. Okay, number 32. A, no change. Yeah. Having an honest and productive conversation about global warming requires an educated public. Now, all the others are redundant. There's repetition. Okay, 33. C. C.
I'm not sure, but C.
Not sure, but C. So, what's your answer? A. Okay. Sarah, what's your answer for 33?
Ma'am, C.
C. Savar?
C.
Now, if you look at the sentence, here we have just 3 sentences, not too much to read. Now, Charlie, you said before sentence 1. Yeah. It's therefore we become more adept at evaluating facts. So it begins with, sorry, not therefore, furthermore. Yeah. Now, if you begin a paragraph with furthermore, it should connect to the previous paragraph. Is it connecting? Furthermore, become more adept at evaluating the facts and theories at the heart of the matter. It doesn't connect, yeah? So before sentence 1 is agreement. Now coming to before sentence 2. Sentence 1 says having an honest, productive conversation about global warming requires an educated public. 2 says when we as public citizens become more informed about the science of now just to sentence 2 connect to sentence 1. Sentence 1 talks about requires the educated public, and sentence 2 gives us an explanation why we require it, right? So we can't put it between one and two. Now come to 3. Now whether it is before 3 or after 3. Now what is this sentence 2 is talking about when we are become more informed about science and finally we become less susceptible to political snipping and to consensus as an argument, right? Now, furthermore, we become more adept at evaluating. Does this connect to sentence 2? Right? The same thought process. So this is connecting to sentence 2. Now we come to sentence 3. Most important perhaps. Now when you say most important perhaps, that comes as a concluding sentence. Yeah. So C before sentence 3 will be good. So you got the logic now? No confusion? Okay. Now question 34. Option A, no change. A. Sarah?
Ma'am, A.
Question 34. A. Savat?
A.
A. Now it says, and until 1918, they were ruled. Right? If you look at the next sentence, it says, today it regards a major part of modern Czech Republic as its largest city. So there's a little anomaly in the pronoun used. Should it be they or should it be it? Ideally, it should be it. So the next sentence is referring to the country as it. Right? Now we go to the options. Now, if we take the first, so it is there in option B, but will option B fit in? Or if you put in option B, it will be Bohemia is a landlocked country in Central Europe, comma, until 1918 it was ruled from Vienna by the Australian hatchback. Now that becomes a comma splice. We have two independent clauses with the comma that no add. Right? So we will eliminate. Now what else can fit in? Now D we eliminated, having been until. Now coming to C, would that fit in? We can say which instead of they. Bohemia is a landlocked country in Central Europe, which until 1918 was ruled by Australian. Now, after Europe, there's a comma. After which there's a comma. After which we can use a comma.
Again, after 1998.
Now, if you say which was ruled by Vienna and until 1918 is an additional information. You can use that logic. What do you say? Right? So we can go with C instead of no change. Yeah? Because when we look at the context in the second paragraph, in the second sentence, the sentence refers to Bohemia as it. So in one sentence referring to it as they, and the second sentence as it is incorrect. Right? So we would rather say which instead of. And until 1918 in comma would be correct because it is giving you an additional information. If you remove until 1918, the sentence is still complete. Right? Okay, now 35. E. So it won't be regards established amount, it comprises of, they're talking about area or country. Okay, 36. A. A. So why do you think it's A? It's what is it referring to? It is referring to the country or the concept of Bohemia. Yeah. So Shakespeare wouldn't have designated it, or it's talking about the period of Shakespeare. So we go with no change. Okay, number 37. B had come to me, would come to me, would be a hypothetical equation, but it already had happened, so had come. Okay, 38. B. So extraordinarily successful was this program that. Yeah. So 38 B is correct. Okay, 39. D. Savat. 39.
D.
D. Right? Yes, D is correct. What were the basic elements? So this is also an example of redundancy. Okay, number 40. This is about diction. And propagated would not be correct here. Prospered is correct. 41. C. The given sentences as Philistines, they seemed here there will be two inhabit a different country from that of the world. Semicolon. Merger's achievement was to define. Now it won't be. Now here we are talking about a different idea, so we come up with a contrast. Yeah. Okay, 42. B. B. Read the sentence. In his Bohemia production, the production of art was in fact less important than the capacity for art or one's capacity for art. It says one had the capacity for art. In his Bohemia, the production of art was in fact less important than the capacity for art. Yeah, sorry, C, D is not the answer, it's D, the capacity for art. So you go with the structure of the sentence. In his Bohemia, the production of art was less important than the capacity for art. What are we comparing? The production and the capacity. So we don't go with one capacity. Right? So B is the answer for both. Okay, 43. B. 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 D. Okay, D and B, we have two options here. Sarah, number 43.
Ma'am, 43D.
D. Okay. And Savat,
Last option.
last one. Okay, now let's see. We have a little confusion here. Now, the author is considering including the sentence. Margot can thus be described as a Bohemian of the second generation. What are we doing in this sentence? We are concluding something. Yeah. Now, can you put it after sentence 2? Read this paragraph with this after sentence 2. Huh? We cannot, right? So this will be after sentence 5 because this is a concluding sentence. Rest of the paragraph is contemplating on what we can call them. Yeah. What is Bohemia and why? Okay, number 44. Maybe A. Maybe A. Okay, what's it? Ishan, didn't get it? Maybe A. Okay, Sarah, what do you think about 44?
A.
A. Savar?
A.
A. Okay, let's see. Now here we have a little confusion. Now, if the author were to delete the quotation from Jules Clarity at the conclusion of this paragraph, the passage would primarily lose what? Now, we read the last part, but they do not have the influence over the rest of the nation, which they do in France. Yeah, thanks to that poisonous element in the French character, which is known as la blague or cynicism. So what is this referring to? This is referring to the French character. It is actually summing up the essence of the French character. So if we remove this, what will happen? So now, if you, what will happen? Will it be a sanguine view of the late 19th century French culture? Will we lose that? A scathing perspective of Murger's literary work. This is not talking about Murger's literary work in here. So B will not be the answer. A dire assessment of France's national temperament. Is it national temperament? Urgent warning against a potential imminent problem? No. Only answer left is A. You eliminated all the rest. Right? Okay, now read the last sentence again. But they do not have the influence over the rest of the nation. We are talking about Bohemians, which they do in France, thanks to that poisonous element in the French character, which is known as this. Yeah. And if you look at, if you read it even before, it is quite clear, Jules Clerc wrote indignantly in 1888 that every country has its Bohemians. Yeah, but they do not have influence over the rest of the nation if they do in France. So this is basically the character of the Bohemian, that is what they represent. Right? So now if you talk about, if you remove this whole quote, then the view that he has expressed about the 19th century French culture, summing it up, is lost. Yeah. So anyway, the B, C, and D we can eliminate. Even if you don't get the logic, you still get the answer. Right? Okay. So we did one entire section, 44 questions. Yeah. Out of 44, now you can figure out how many, what your score would be like, how many you got correct. Yeah. So if you got about maybe till about 5 wrong, it's fine. We one in each passage, maximum two shouldn't be, depending upon the type of mistakes you have been making. If it's a single mistake, grammatical error, then surely you have to go back to vicegram. Right? So, okay, so now what is left here is the last 2 sessions, which the session 17 I have given you a homework, which you will do, and 18 and 19, between 18 and 19, just 18. So 18 you will be practicing with time. Yeah. With 18 you have 33 questions, 3 passages. Per passage how many minutes? Listen, sir. You can manage in less than 7. In fact, you should. So if you manage in less than 7, say you can finish up in 6 minutes, you have time and when you finish up in 6 minutes, that is, you don't waste time on a question which you are not able to. Leave it, move on. Yeah. So whenever you are stuck on a question, don't waste your time. Those few seconds or that particular, say about how many seconds did you get? 45 seconds? Yeah, not more than 40 seconds or so. Those 40 seconds are crucial to get the other answer right. Right? So you move on, and when you finish, after marking your, now when you're marking your answer, another thing that you should remember is that don't wait till the end to mark your answers. Finish one passage, mark your answer, and write down in your rough paper the question that you haven't been able to do. Right? So you have a doubt in the passage 1, question 4. Write it down. Move on to the next question. Finish passage 1, enter all your answers for passage 1, then start passage 2. So it won't be that you finish all the passages, you finish the question 44, but you don't have enough time to enter all the answers. Maybe you haven't been able to enter 5 answers, which you actually did. Yeah. So do them one passage at a time. Finish a passage, enter your answer. Move on to the next passage. Then at the end of it, you will find that you have managed your time properly. You still have about 2 minutes left. Go back to the question that you had doubts in or weren't able to do. Yeah. That way you will be able to complete everything, but not waste time. Right? So far, do you have any doubts in the grammar? No doubts? Ishan? No?
I made some sessions. Okay.
Last Sunday you missed. So last Sunday we did practice on. We did that. Or before that.
For that, but,
Which one did you miss?
before the validation. After the validation.
After the verification. So we had done the, I think the punctuations, now the subject verb agreement. Yeah, 7. So there were the, I think, yeah, the punctuations. So you go through the punctuations. 6 and 7.
Yeah, I
Okay. And 8.
attended it.
You attended. So not much, you can go through these. So those anyway we have done while we were doing other things. Yeah. So the noun agreement, pronoun agreement, I think those were the ones you were going wrong in. Yeah. So you go through it. Now you know that when you are, okay, this thing about the pronoun, when you come across a pronoun, it is underlined, look for the subject it is referring to. Right? And usually when you're coming across a pronoun, either it will be pronoun ambiguity, but you don't know what it is actually referring to. You have 2 subjects and there's no clarity. So those will be the sentence clarification ones, or it will be just the grammar one, that whether it is singular or plural. So identifying any subject referring to, that is what the pronoun is referring to, is important. And even when you have a verb, whether the verb is going to be singular or plural will be decided by the subject it is referring to. Right? And when you have 2 subjects in a sentence like either or, neither nor, the verb will be decided by what? Subject closest to the verb. If the subject closest to the verb is singular, and the verb is singular. Right? Say the boys and their teacher. Is. No. When you have and, then plural. Neither the boys nor their teacher is. is, right? Singular. So the verb will always be determined in a neither nor either situation. And if you have along with, say the boys along with their teacher, then it will be plural. It will refer to the main subject. So the main subject will be the first subject. In that case, you will not go with a plural. Now, if you say the teacher along with the boys, is then it is singular. So your main subject is singular. So along with main subject will determine the verb. If you have and, it will be plural. If you have either or neither nor, subject closest to the verb will determine whether the verb is plural or singular. Right? So that these are the little confusing things which you have to make sure you get right. And homophones and its, right? Say, I think we had a question. And when you are combining sentences, what do you have to take care of? Yeah. What else? So you have two sentences. There is in combined. Now, first thing, there should be clarity and no redundancy. Yeah. Secondly, the meaning should not be changed. And thirdly, you have to see what is the focus of the sentences that are given to you. The focus should not change. Right? These are the things you have to keep in mind relating to combined sentences. Okay, session 16. Okay, I think in session 17, question 23. Then open up to session 17, question 23. Yeah, this is a sentence combination question. Yeah. So can you do this? So in this case, when you have a long sentence, instead of trying to combine it and looking for the answer which is combining them, you will be going with the process of elimination. So look at the options and just figure out, is there any error? Eliminate. So in this case, the first one, if you see, it's again too complicated. Which are often rebooted are similar to superhero comics. You would eliminate their redundancy, right? Now, if you look at B, just as popular film franchises are often rebooted in effort to make their characters and stories fresh and relevant for new audiences, superhero comic books are periodically reworked and tracked. Now, this we don't find redundancy. The punctuation is also correct, but it begins with just as popular films as a comparison. Yeah. So we will keep this and see if there's anything else which is better on this. C says superhero comic books are periodically reworked to try to increase their appeal to contemporary readers, while popular film franchises are often rebooted and echoed. Now, is this keeping the focus correct? Even though it is combining and comparing? No, right? It's the focus is changed. Now, if you look at these superhero comic books are much like popular film franchises and being often rebooted. And there's also a little is there clarity in the sentence? No. So if there's no clarity, we eliminate. So what are we left with? We are left with B. Yeah. So what did we eliminate? Something which is focus is not correct, which is redundant, and a sentence where there is no clarity.
So the opens that are all present starting.
Yeah, we are comparing, no? Just as popular film. So just as this happened. It brings in the comparison. Right? Now, mostly the questions that you are going wrong, I found. The majority of the questions which would be wrong are the ones where you have to analyze a little more. The sentence placement, adding a sentence, deleting a sentence. You have to be a little more careful, analyze, should be there, should not be there. Is this sentence, when you have to figure out, does this sentence look like a concluding sentence? Is it connecting to the previous sentence? Are there two sentences which are connected to each other so we can't put it in between? So those are the type of analytical points that you have to work out when you are doing sentence spacing. So it's basically connecting the dots. If the two are connecting the thoughts, so you go into the key words of the particular sentences. Then see, are they connected? If they're not connected, does the sentence connect them in some way in the middle? Or should it be? So you're just eliminating. If you're given before sentence one, you can see, is it the topic sentence? Does it connect to the previous sentence? Does it set up the topic of the paragraph? If not, eliminate. Before sentence two, is it connecting one and two? Or one and two are already connected, this is interfering. Right? So you have to analyze. So you have to just pick up the place where they say place it, eliminate. That's all you have to do. Right? So if you can eliminate properly, there is no way you can get your answer wrong. Right? And you have to be careful about your punctuations. Go back to the chapter of punctuations. Go through the rules. Where should commas not be used? Where should semicolon not be used? If you are using, and especially when you have one comma and one dash in the question. Yeah, this one. Question number 28, session 17. Question 28. Right? So what do you have here? You have a dash. So whenever you have a dash in a sentence, see why is it there? And what is the other, what is its contemporary? What is it paired with? Here it is paired with a colon. So one colon, now the colon in the middle of the sentence, big question mark. Right? So whenever you see something like a colon in the middle of the sentence, a semicolon somewhere, or a dash, you have to first try to figure out why is it there. Right? And you'll never go wrong. The question, session 18, you will be able to do on your own. That will be a test for yourself. Okay, session 18, if you look at question 24, it's page 226, I suppose. If I have to change. Session 18, question 24. Why? You should know what is the word, why this is the word.
I think it's causing damage and then it's the result of the damage.
Yeah. Now, effect is used as a noun. Effect is used as a verb. So what do you have over here? Oh, widespread positive effect. Yeah. You have, if you have an article, it should be the noun. Caused widespread effect. Yeah. Or effect. Okay. Okay, question number 26. 25 and 26 income, both of them. 25 first and then go on to 26. B. Why?
Because the previous sentence was different.
So this sentence, if you read the whole sentence, so what do you have? You have gerunds creating job. It's a parallel structure. Verb is it's not to create. Now you have what do you have over here? Catalyst for innovation and effect on serving as a catalyst for scientific understanding to create jobs and showing humanity in its place. So it should be creating jobs and showing humanity. Right? Okay, number 26. No change. It's a list. All of them, none of them have a comma in between. All of them separated with comma. This is the last item in the list. So comma and right? So any other problem you are facing? So all of you are taking your exam, you are not, no? You are taking it on the 3rd. Yeah? You are also. Okay, so I think in midweek you can do another mock test. And if you have any doubts, then we can solve the doubts. And you have it on the 3rd. So 3rd probably we will not have a class. Yeah. So, and for your batch, you will be checking the timetable again, and then you will be. Okay. So, Sarah, Sagar, do you have any doubts? No? All clear? So these are, apart from your mock test, you will do these, whatever is left to do. Yeah? Session 18, session 17, you can finish. So at least you will get some extra practice. And you will time yourself. This is where you will be actually timing yourself. And seeing whether you will. These are shorter exercises. So it is easier than your mock test. Yeah? But you will complete it. And in case you have any doubts still, either in this or in the reading section, then you can ask Manish sir or Suti ma'am and get in touch with them, and we can arrange a short session also. Yeah. Okay. Okay, then all the best. I don't think I'll be meeting you before 3rd. Yeah. So I expect people to do well. Just keep your focus, nothing else. Keep your focus, eliminate. If you're confused, what do you do? Leave the question, move on. Or only remember that you're not going to waste time on any question. It's okay now there, and you can also take a guess. But there's no negative marking, so you can safely take a guess. Maybe if you even you're confused whether it's A or B, A or C, whichever one is most suitable, just mark it, write it down that this question I have a doubt, come back to it. Yeah, and use a normal pencil, not a hard one, not a pen pencil, a normal pencil, which if you erase, there's no mark. You have to remember that. Right? Okay. Anything else?
There will be, I will get the mock test today. And then I was questions where questions are solved previously.
In maths, it could happen.
The math is
Never mind. Could be. Usually it doesn't happen. Usually doesn't.
that's
They have a huge pool of passages, and they make sure it doesn't get. Now mock test it may happen because we some of the mock tests are like from the SAT mock test.
few of the math questions that solved in the class.
Okay, maybe okay, they must have included one of those. I think the one of the previous SAT tests which we've already done. So now, and remember to carry your identity cards and your passports. Both. Yeah. So they will require your passports. Okay. Carry yourself well, sleep well before you leave. And yeah, let me know how you are scoring on your mock test. Yeah. Shan, yours. Sarah?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you've written a mock or you haven't written any mock as well?
Ma'am, tomorrow I might be writing my first one.
Tomorrow. Okay. Sagar?
I will write it in this week.
So make sure you write at least 2 mocks before the exam. Right? Okay then, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, good night. Welcome. Good night.